Are you ready for a spooky time? A spooky, scary, frightening time. Very scary. Very haunted, very evil, very terrifying. Oh, you better be scared right now. Oh, it's gonna get scarier from here. Ooh. 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 I have a spooky and scary and frightening book of creepypastas right in front of me that I am going to read out loud today for all of you at home. Grab your snacks, grab your waters. I am going to read your creepypastas. There is over... I think there's 11 different stories. There's over 50, 60 pages, including title pages. If the background music ever ends up drowning out my voice, please let me know. You're goth now. I'm dressed for the occasion. She's red. That's not her. That's not the blue cat girl I follow and know. You forgot your what hairs? Go get your what hairs. You look dashing in red and black. Thank you. Thank you. I am especially spooky and evil today. Well, yes. But the book in front of me is blue. So you still got the blue. I am the book. Aren't you always spooky and evil? Perhaps. It depends on the occasion and how I'm feeling. But yes. Oh, the page. I can turn the page. Oh. So scary. Oh, there's gotta be words on the screen. Can I check your teeth real quick? So we're gonna start off the first story written by me, called The Teeth Shatterer. I don't know about this book, guys. Oh, sounds really scary. Yeah, there's a lot of haunting stories, and I've read none of them, except for the one that I wrote. I only know about the one that I wrote. But yeah, let's read about The Teeth Shatterer. But yeah, let me know if the BGM ever overpowers me. I want to make sure everything is very audible and you can hear the words that I am speaking right now. Everything good? Hope it's not an evil, cursed book. I think it might be, actually. It might be a little evil cursed. It is loud. Okay, I can turn down just a little bit. Maybe around there. Slightly lower. Okay. Lower it. Just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. Oh yeah. Let us read about The Teeth Shatterer. I frequently have dreams, or nightmares if you want to call them that, where I'm in my final semester of school but miss an entire semester's worth of classes, preventing me from graduating. Sometimes I'll have dreams where I'm trying to run as fast as I can, but I barely move an inch because I forget how to use my legs. But the ones that I have most frequently, that haunts me more than either of those, are ones where my teeth are loose and fall out. Whenever I have those dreams, I always have to check the mirror and make sure I still have all of my teeth, or even physically wiggle each tooth to double check if they're actually loose or not. One morning, after having a tooth-related dream, I followed the same routine. Checked the mirror, wiggled each tooth, big smile. Nothing out of the ordinary there. I brushed my teeth, pet my cat and guinea pigs, proceeded to make myself food and coffee. Maybe I'll draw on stream today. I opened up Clip Studio Paint, OBS, VTube Studio, set up my tracking, and hit the Go Live button. Hi everyone! How are you all doing today? It's pretty cold and gloomy over here today, and it's making me a little sleepy. So last night I had a dream where I was eating popcorn. You know how sometimes when you take a handful of popcorn but you get on-pop kernels mixed in there? So you get a nice crunchy surprise, but it's not nice or crunchy. It's more like eating rocks or shattering your teeth. Well, anyway, I was eating popcorn in my dream. That exact thing happened, except it wasn't popcorn kernels. So when I was spitting them out, I was actually spitting out a bunch of my teeth. Chat reacted in a mix of horror and laughter. Lol. That's awful. Thanks. Now I never want to eat popcorn ever again. It's okay. Just eat popcorn one by one, or with chopsticks, so you never get a kernel surprise. Smiles. I then get a first-time chat message, which is unusual for the beginning of a stream. However, it's from a username named Shatterer. Shatterer says, "Are you sure that was a dream? Did you check the mirror?" Interesting and very topical username, Shatterer. Yes, I did check the mirror and brush my teeth, so I'm pretty sure I have all my teeth still. Shatterer says, "Check again." Started feeling lightheaded upon reading the last message. Normally I like to joke around with my chat, but there was something unsettling about this new chatter. Okay, fine, I'll entertain your chat message just this once, since I want to start drawing and I've been sitting in the starting screen for over 10 minutes now. I'll be right back. I got up from my chair, walked towards my bathroom, and looked into the mirror. Hair is still fluffy and blue. Ears are perky, bow's in the right place, eyes are okay. Why am I so nervous about smiling in the mirror? I checked this morning and everything was fine, so what makes this any different? I felt dizzy again, but I took a deep breath, swallowed my anxiety, and made a big smile with all of my teeth showing. See, everything's still... Crash! Shattered glass rained down on me as the mirror was now no more. Thousands of shards from the broken mirror lay scattered around my feet. I'm panicking, just trying to process everything that was happening. That I didn't realize that there was blood staining my beautiful blue dress. Frantically, I crouched down and picked up the larger piece of the broken mirror and held it up to my face. There was blood dribbling down from my mouth. A strong taste of iron then hit me. I didn't even want to try and analyze further, as when I looked back down towards the ground, there were what looked to be tiny, white pieces of bone mixed in with the broken mirrors. Oh no, I thought to myself. This can't be happening. This has to be pieces of wall or tile and not my... I spat down a tooth, covered in blood. I felt nauseous. I don't know how long I've been standing there, but the next thing that popped up in my head is that I need to immediately cancel my stream and clean up this mess. I sat back down in my chair. My chat is full of smiley emotes, probably just trying to entertain themselves while they waited for me. I've been looking over at OBS and supposedly I had been gone for 5 minutes. They're probably wondering what takes a person 5 minutes to look in the mirror and smile. They'll never believe what happened. I decided to type out my message to cancel the stream, rather than saying it out loud, since I didn't think I could even talk properly anymore. Chenna Kitty says, "Sorry guys, my bathroom mirror exploded and I gotta cancel stream and clean up." Chenna caffeinated. Question mark, question mark, question mark. How? Huh? They were all confused and worried, except from Shatterer, who simply left a smile. I didn't like their vibes at all, so I banned them immediately after I ended the stream. Still overwhelmed by the series of events, and too panicked to even feel anything else, I got up, grabbed a broom and a bunch of trash bags, and went back to the bathroom. However, when I opened up the door, everything was back to normal. No broken mirror, no broken teeth on the floor, but the bloodstains on my dress still remained. I quickly examined my mouth once again, and all my teeth were still whole and in place, yet I could still taste the blood that had coated the inside of my mouth. Who really was Shatterer, and why does the bloodstains remain, yet the horrors of everything else that transpired does not? And that's my story! Huh? I hate wiggly tooth dreams. I have them so often. This story was very much inspired based on true stories of me having kind of recurring dreams of recurring teeth dreams, and then I wake up and I'm like, is the tooth still there? And then I wiggle it. I think we should ban Shatterer. Yeah, Shatterer is banned, don't worry. He's a tier 3 son. No! We're banning him. Scary Cheddar story. Was that a real story? Yeah, it's real. It's very much real. My teeth are still here, but my clothes are all bloody. And endless teeth falling out dreams where you had braces. Oh no. Very much real thing that happened. Chat member Shatterer came into my chat. And that's why her dress is red. Yeah, my dress is stained from all the That's the lore. Let's hear his appeal. Well, Shatterer isn't here anymore. So yeah, that was my story. Smile. I don't even know he was linked to that at all. Just a polite chatterer. But why would Shatterer smile after all that happened? Hmm. Rare Chenna teeth version for the stream that just has no teeth. Chenna toothless smile. She hates smiling now. No smiling. Trying to stay positive and not cause panic. Well, I'm banning Shatterer regardless. Anyway, let's go to the next story. This is Chennaw from Big15. Big15 is in chat. Smiles. So now I'm going through everything blind. I have not read any stories. I had Sam vet everything for me. And yeah. Let us begin. Yikes. I woke to a blinding light in a room I did not recognize, with a light fixture on the ceiling shining directly upon my face. It felt as if for a moment this was some sort of afterlife, and I was now on some sort of purgatorial plane. As I came to my senses, I knew this to be untrue, and the shape of the room became clear. It was rectangular, with no doors or windows to be seen, and a wallpaper of ornate blue and white patterns was plastered along the sides. The floor and ceiling were all white. The bright coloration of the room could have had it mistaken for a padded cell had I not felt the cold, painted concrete beneath me. There were a few furnishings in the room in front of me, I could see various tools scattered about the floor and an unknown object comprised of pink swirls. Directly below me was a small sewer gate, having been painted over as well. Looking up, trying to avoid the brazen light, I could see a television screen mounted in the corner of the room. Attempting to get up and look around, my head pounding, I noticed the only other piece of furniture in the room. Against the wall behind me was a sky blue couch, adorned with decorated pillows shaped like bows, as well as an object that can only describe as two white circular sections on top of each other, bearing crude animal-like features, and a face hastily scribbled upon its front. I had dismissed it as another decoration, but the object on the couch seemed almost alive, its vision permeating every corner of the room. While contemplating this creature, I had heard a sound behind me, and turned yet again to see the screen had been switched on. It now displayed an image of someone wearing a mask resembling that of a cat-like woman, with a pale face adorned with large blue eyes, with a gaze that pierced through one's soul. She had long blue hair that ended in flat bangs on her head, with side bangs ends in curls on either side. Top of this head of hair were several rose-like accessories, and a blue bow, and two large cat-like ears, with blue fur on the top and pink insides. She was wearing an ornate blue and white dress adorned with various accessories. At last, the beast woman spoke to me. "I want to play a game," she said, as she began to move in a strange way that no matter how much she rotated her body, her face would remain fixated forward. This humanoid feline only looked up a small part of the screen, and most of the TV was dedicated to a grainy video feed of myself, standing in the room despite no cameras being visible from my point of view. In addition, I could see words appearing on the left side of the screen, but I could not make out the details from afar. As she spoke, I noticed more strange things happening upon the screen. Various objects would frequently appear and slam into her with a violent smacking sound. Yet she brushed them off as if nothing happened. Sorry, try to keep a straight face. Okay, I feel like this is gonna happen a lot. Okay. Just the imagery. Okay. Okay, let me get it out. Okay. The accessories on my head disappeared once, then appeared again. I could make out what sounded like a distant chirp as well as a separated, distant voice, saying something that sounded like... Open. Oh my god, okay, I'm sorry. It is almost as if she were a victim of a game itself. But there was no way to discern how she felt behind the cold, unfeeling mask. After these distractions, she began to address me again. "In front of you is a rose," she continued, with the mouth of her mask somehow matching her words. Within this rose is a key. The key you will need to leave this room. Find it and you'll go free. You have 30 minutes. With that, she spoke to me no more for the next half hour. I could see her mouth moving, but the screen's audio was cut. Despite my panicking in the moment, no amount of pleading could get me a response. Eventually, I got on my hands and knees, ready to work at that rose. The instructions were vague, as were the tools. A simple knife could have sliced it open, but what I had to work with in the room was strange and unwieldy, more fit for a bovine than a person. There was no knowing of how much time I had left. I took one of the tools and slowly began to make my way through the rose. The process of extracting the key from the rose was incredibly painful. More than words can describe. It was worse than any pain I had felt up to that moment. In the task of doing so, I could only think of what would drive the azure feline to set up this game, and how lucky my life had been up to this point to have never experienced such pain. At last it was done. I was barely able to keep on my knees, exhausted, with rose petals covering myself and the floor around me. I could finally feel the key inside of the giant rose, and extracted it with such haste that it slipped between my fingers and directly into the sewer grate, with more rose petals that continued to flow. Not a minute or two could have passed since then, but the agony of losing the key made it feel like eternity. At last the feeling spoke to me once again. "Time is up," she said, with no hint of frustration in her voice, as if she had been expecting this outcome. More objects flew from the edges of the screen towards her. "Chat, stop it! We have to decide the punishment!" This revealed to me the nature of the messages at the side. They were written by viewers watching me live, about to weigh in on my fate. The cat girl was broadcasting this to who knows how many people? Dozens? Millions? At this rate, the messages poured in faster than ever, too fast to read on the screen. Guinea pigs? All the chat is voting for guinea pigs. Okay then, guinea pigs it is! Let's go! Oh, somebody already redeemed it! Guinea pig! Beam! Just then, a deafening squeak came from all corners of the room. What looked like crude figures of guinea pig appeared, floating slowly towards me, unaffected by gravity. Many more of these followed until, within seconds, they all flooded the room. Their squeals more than enough to drive anyone mad, had the rodents not swarmed them already. Death by guinea pig. You got tortured on stream. I can't believe I streamed a torture. That was good. Why'd I do that? Trying to change up the streaming game. I've never seen any of these Saw movies, by the way. Neither have I, but I could tell us from Saw. Where was it? I'm trying to find the part where you were the description of the couch and describing Chennaw. I was holding it together. I didn't want to. That was like the first part. I was like, okay, I can't laugh at this. I know they're talking about Chennaw. I'm not gonna laugh. But then what? What really got me was the flying object. Torture is a new meta. I. But yeah, very, very, very epic. I'm gonna scroll up and read chat. Chenna is reading us bedtime stories. Yeah, these are all well, it's the afternoon. Certainly, this is very scary stories to fall asleep to. The smoking timing was funny. Thank you, Mela, for doing that. I've already chewed off 3 of your fingernails. You made a typo. Ah! Ah! Uh-oh, typo. That's okay. Evil Pikmin music, but even eviler. Something similar may show up again. Who knows? Don't forget to hydrate. Yeah, I'm gonna have to be doing that a whole lot. A whole lot this stream. Lots of reading. Pepperoni's bedtime. Pepperoni's bedtime stories. Are you ready for me to read you the story of the 5,000 Hiccup? But yeah, very, very good. I could picture the setting. Now I know the meaning of Chennaw, like saw, but Chennaw. I understand the meaning of the title. And don't worry if you didn't write a title for your story. I didn't say you had to write a title. But yeah, descriptions. I could picture the torture room in my brain. Lots of references to the stream. Very funny. I enjoyed it. Very enjoyable. Torture is a new meta. All right, time to torture. Who's gonna death by guinea pigs? You're good at picturing what? What does that mean? But yeah, if Big 15 has any other comments, backstory they want to say about their story. But yeah, this is from Big 15, chat member Big 15. Thank you for writing a spooky Chenna Kitty torture creepypasta. Very enjoyable. Now let us drink one more sip of water and proceed with the 5,000th hiccup. I thought it'd be funny if Chenna was evil. That is kind of funny. Not gonna lie. The Chenna puppet running on a tricycle. The very tiny, very miniature evil Chenna. That's a lot of hiccups. Yeah, I would have to do like 10 more years of streaming to hit 5,000. But yes, thank you. Thank you for your wonderful submission in writing. The 5,000th hiccup, written by TheOnlyGuyEver, or K. It started out on a Sunday evening, like any other. I was winding down in my room, surfing the web, when I got a notification that Chenna Kitty would be streaming in a few minutes. Chenna is, or was, one of my favorite streamers, and I would always try to catch her streams when I could. They didn't happen that often, so that was a nice treat. For this stream was going to be special for a certain reason. Chenna was nearing the 5,000th hiccup. For 1,000 hiccups, She had played the Faces of Evil on stream. The game was rough, but it was a fun time. For 2,500 hiccups, she did the next logical thing and played one of Gamelon, which is just more of the same. She wasn't sure what to do for the next milestone, though, and didn't want to play Zelda's Adventure because it wasn't like the other two. So instead, she just kept it as a surprise to decide on later on. The hic counter had actually spiked up a lot in the past few streams, and it was nearing the 5,000th hiccup a lot sooner than anyone expected. Chenna had started hiccuping a lot more recently. It was pretty weird, and she just go into these hiccup fits at times like she was being possessed or something. You can kind of tell it was weird because her model would kind of freak out. Me and the other chat members would ask if she was okay, and she'd just say it was the monster inside her and laugh it off. So we figured it was just her being silly and making it a joke. But this was finally it. The stream where the 5,000th hiccup would be reached. Chenna finally appeared from behind her loading screen and looked the same as ever and greeted the chat like usual, but somehow felt like something was off. She wasn't sure what to do that day and decided just to draw art of herself, but something wasn't right. Chenna was a very good artist, but every time she would hiccup, it would look like she'd just lose control of the pen or just scribble something that looked like some sort of weird language before erasing it. We were kind of roasting her in chat about it and making jokes like the usual. She just told us that her tablet must have been dying and continued anyway. The hicks kept coming in the first hour, but after that they started to slow down. They almost stopped sounding like hiccups. It started sounding like something else. But I tried to just focus on bantering with Chenna and having fun. She was one of my favorite streamers after all, and I was excited to see what she had planned for the 5,000th hiccup. Hic! Chenna hiccuped 4,497 times. Hic! Chenna has hiccuped 4,498 times. Hic! Chenna has hiccuped 4,499 times. Just one more hiccup and it would finally be here. I had already typed the hic command in the chat box to advance, just waiting excitedly for it to happen. Press enter when Chenna spoke. Here it comes, chat members, the 5,000th hiccup special! The 5,000th hiccup was coming. Chenna could feel it. Reverberated through the stream, and I was waiting with my finger on the enter key to press it when suddenly Chenna's model filled the entire screen, shaking violently, her eyes and mouth distorted into huge black voids as blood poured out from them. And the sound, I will never forget the sound. The 5,000th hiccup, if you could even call that, sounded nothing like a hiccup at all. It didn't even sound like human. It was like a screeching wail that made me toss my headphones to the ground. It was so unbearable. But somehow the sound didn't stop. It was like right in my ears. I fell to the ground. And when I looked up at the monitor, which was glowing a bright red, and the chat was completely full of hic commands from usernames I had never seen before, written in some sort of demonic-looking language. The last thing I saw before I blocked it was, Chenna has hiccuped 666,666 times. Oh, spooky. I woke up the next morning, still on the floor. I wasn't sure if what I had seen was real or some sort of horrible nightmare, but my computer wouldn't turn on and seemed completely fried, so it must have been real. I opened Twitch on my phone, but I couldn't check Chenna Kitty's channel. But I couldn't find it on my list of follows. where her channel used to be was just a random string of text and that weird looking script again. All her videos were gone. I went to check on her other socials I followed her on, but they were the same as her Twitch account. Completely empty now with a black profile picture, that demonic looking username. I tried to just put it out of my head and move on, but I'm still not sure what happened that night. All I know is that I will never forget what I saw and heard. I get this nervous feeling that whenever I hear hiccups now, I hope none of you reading this will have to go through anything like that, like what I did. If you don't believe me, then it's your choice. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Don't watch Chenna Kitty on Twitch.tv. When she hiccup a billion times, you will become demon. Okay, that's scary. Very, very epic. Very epic. Very spooky. The countdown. I almost laughed when I Are you okay? It's just the monster inside me. Don't worry. It's normal. I'm normal. It's just nothing else has changed but the monster inside me. Quivering in my boots. Very spooky. Hi, Marshall. The last hiccup was worth 500. Maybe the command was broken. Maybe the command is the one that's evil. Maybe increasing numbers is scary. What if Teeth Shatterer planted... This is Teeth Shatterer's fault. They put the monster inside me. And now I'm possessed. The continuity! So, okay. So now what we're learning... Teeth Shatterer made me do a torture stream, get possessed by a monster through hiccups, exploded all my social medias. Man, I didn't think there would be continuity between all these stories. Are you suggesting a Chenna Creepypasta cinematic universe? It's possible. It's possible. What if all of this is canon? Or what if this is just like an omen of things to come? Oh. Who knows? Maybe there'll be someone who named T-Shatter that just pops up in my chat. And then that's when everything happens. Very good. It was written by TheOnlyGuyEver, also known as Care. I know they also have a second story, but this... I think Sam organized this in order of submission. Smile! And now, we have Zubrungus' story. And I will drink water. The only guy ever, or K, if you're listening to the VOD. Very, very spooky story. I enjoyed it. Thank you for putting in the time and effort for writing a spooky story. Very spooky. We got the Chenna hiccups mixed in with it. The possession hiccups. Hi, only... VOD watchers, say hi! Or say hi for the VOD watchers! I don't think you can comment on VODs anymore. You used to be able to do that, I think. Oh. At 5,000 hiccups, Chenna will be possessed by a monster. Time for me to edit that command. Oh god. It's happening. It's the monster. The monster's coming. Nah, we're ways off before the monster gets here. Unleashed. Unleash the beast. She's always said that. It's real. How did you know I was possessed by a hiccup monster? Anyway, we are going to read a story written by Zubrungus, who is in chat right now. Smiles. Note, this story is a work of fiction. It is not necessarily an accurate depiction of the real Chenna kitty. But maybe it is. Luigi wakes up in a cold... Sorry, it's Luigi. I'm gonna restart. I feel bad for, like, being thrown into laughing fits while reading. I wanna have, like, a serious face. Luigi wakes up in a cold, dry jail cell. It's dark and he can't see much. He's scared and he tries to call out for his brother, but can only muster a timid Mario. Suddenly, a monitor he hadn't noticed flickers to life. It's hanging from the top of the wall outside of his cell. It displays a mysterious blue color. Luigi is overtaken by fear and cowers in the corner while covering his face and crying. You won't even look at me. That's not very kindness of you. Luigi peeks through his fingers at the monitor and sees a blue girl with threatening bows, intimidating flowers, and scariest of all, 2 animalistic ears on top of her head. Luigi uncovers his eyes and cautiously says, You don't look like a Mario. The blue girl sighs and says, It's always about Mario with you. No matter how many times we do this, no matter what I change about the situation, you're always obsessed with Mario. He's not here, okay? Luigi can feel his fear turning to terror. What's happening? He has no memory of her, so why does she already seem to know him? Is Mario okay? Something is very, very wrong here. Mario! Mario! Help me! Yells Luigi, any remaining composure all but gone. The blue girl pounds her fist down and says, I already told you he's not here. Ugh, this attempt is already a bust. There's no way we can get your kindness levels up at this point. I wish we could just erase Mario from your memories too. He's too ingrained. Oh well, time to reset. Some kind of device slowly lowers from the ceiling with a hum. It clicks into place and strange whirring sound builds up as a blinding blue light gets brighter and brighter. Luigi is so scared he can't even move. Suddenly, there's a loud pop and everything returns to silence. Smoke coming from the device pools at the top of the room. The blue girl has a worried look on her face. That isn't supposed to happen. Luigi is taking deep breaths. He's still scared, but has the impression that he just narrowly escaped disaster. Gradually, something in his mind begins to shift. He's regaining memories. He realizes this isn't the first time he's woken up in someplace strange. It's happened countless times, in fact. Not all the memories are bad. Some of them are actually quite pleasant, but still, he's always a prisoner. I remember now. You're Chenna. I've been here for a long time, and you haven't been very nice. No, 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 this can't be happening. I refuse to give up my dream. I will make you into kindness, Luigi. Just don't do anything rash, okay? You've been through a lot and must be tired. You should just drink some water and go back to sleep. Don't you think? Smile. Luigi stands up tall, his fear evaporating. No. I know what I gotta do now. What happened to Mario wasn't your fault. Luigi closes his eyes, and then Vengeance Luigi opens his eyes. Oh my god. Vengeance Luigi. I created Vengeance Luigi. I wanted him to be kindness so bad, but I tortured him. And then he turned vengeance. This isn't what creates kindness. This only creates pain and torture and vengeance. Man, the torture meta, stream meta, sure is sure is at a at an uptick recently. This is the plot of Luigi's Mansion 4. You're freaked up. I blame Shatterer. I blame Shatterer and the monster inside me. That was very good. I enjoyed it. The mix of silliness and seriousness and vengeance Luigi. Oh, the twist. Oh, the twist. Yeah, you and Bigwin both had the Chenna screen. Reading like the first page, you're like, oh, this is similar, but you know, it's different. It's different enough. It's its own unique story. It's got themes of torture, experimentation. Danganronpa versus Saw. I must create kindness. When Vengeance Luigi opened his eyes, oh, the chills. Oh, I got goosebumps. The hair on my arms just stood up. Oh. Yes, very good. You thought of the last line on Vasta's story on that? Oh. You know, that's a good way to write a story. Just like start with the ending and then figure out how the story got to that. It's a technique. Chenna mad scientist. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to create kindness Luigi, but you know what? Moral of the story, kindness Luigi has to create kindness himself. You force someone into kindness, they everything go bad. Or something like that. Inject them with a pink fluid. Pink kindness fluids. What happened to Martin if he's up to... If he's alive, if it's up to the reader? Oh, you're right! What happened to Mario is my fault. I played Mario games too much and Mario got tired and exploded and died. And Luigi's like, what the heck? But yes, thank you, Zubrungus. I think you have another story. I think that is later. The Smoke, written by Marshall Smile. Swooping. You just have that one? Oh. Maybe I was misremembering. Hey! I think it was Som that has 2 stories, actually. I know Som has 2, Only Guy has 2, Marshall has 3? Hey! Hey! We haven't started yet and you're already smoking. Come on, settle down. Alright. We got the smoke. Let's see what we have added to the Chenna Kitty Creepypasta cinematic universe. I was watching the Chenna Kitty stream and smoking a cigarette when all of a sudden Chenna looked straight into my eyes and said, "That is my cigarette now!" And she pulled her hand through my screen and stole my cigarette! I was so scared, but then she said, "Thank you, Keith, for the cigarette." How did she know my name? I closed my computer and cried in the corner. I'm too scared to smoke a cigarette still because I can still hear her smoking. I was under the influence when writing the book. Marshall. Okay, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. It's short, short and sweet, short and sweet, straight to the point. I wonder what the other viewers saw when Chenna did that. Yeah, probably. My guess is that their screens turn black. Like maybe the signal connection, you know, the streams got disconnected for them, but like it was only running for Marshall, and then I stole his cigarette, and then the stream resumed, and all of a sudden I'm smoking, and everyone's just like, what the heck? This cat girl is smoking? I thought she didn't smoke. I thought she said she hated cigarettes. Why does she all of a sudden have a cigarette? How does she know my name? If you started smoking, it'll be no. I am never smoking. Never ever. Never ever in my life ever. This one also takes place sometime after Shatterer, but before the 5,000th Hiccup. You know, that's a good theory. And I think all like the torture streams happen like maybe after. No, maybe right before. Do the torture streams happen before or after? Cause maybe the only guy ever stopped, like, they said, "Oh, she used to be my favorite streamer," but maybe they stopped because I was too busy doing torture streams. You became more evil from smoking. The smoke. I like these theories. These gamer theories. I'm like chugging so much water. Because I don't want to destroy my voice at the end. But yeah, and then we have another story called Kindness from Marshall. One day, one day when I was on my computer, I was on YouTube and I searched up Kindness Chenna video. And it started out normal, but after a few seconds, scream in black, there was a hyper-realistic Chenna Kitty jump scare. She smiled and said, "Kindness Chenna is dead. I am Meanness Chenna." The Kindness Chenna song started playing again, but it was all distorted. It was saying Meanness Chenna instead, and she wouldn't stop laughing, all scary like. I turned off the video, but she said, "You can't stop me. I am very mean." And then she appeared behind me and killed me with her meanness. Oh, a murder. Oh, we have murder. We have murder kill. That's not very kindness. Oh no, I'm becoming more and more evil. It started with torture, and now it's killing. Can we hear the Meanness Chenna song? That was a monster. I feel like that was a preview of the 5,000 Hiccup. Yeah, thank you, Marshall, for evil Chenna. Meanness Chenna. I don't know what meanness Chenna would sound like yet. That was the monster inside of you. And then we have Marshall's last one, which is a longer story. I don't apologize for what you're about to read. Isn't this the one that you kind of just train of thought wrote? Well, I'm ready. I'm gonna drink one more sip of water, and then I will read. Warning, I did not read this during or after writing it. I mean, if Sam vetted all this and said it was okay, so definitely it's okay. This is a story about my friend Samuel. He was a cool guy who I really looked up to, but one day completely changed. He dyed his hair blue and wore roses. I asked him why he changed so much, and all he said was, "For my goddess Chenna." I was like, "Who?" And then he said, "My goddess Chenna." I asked, "Who?" And he said, "My goddess Chenna." He pulled up a picture of her and said, "This is my goddess Chenna." She was the most beautiful blue-haired cat thing I've ever seen before. I asked him how I could follow Chenna, and he said, "Follow twitch.tv/ChennaKitty and subscribe, use your Twitch Prime sub, or gift a sub to become a follower of Goddess Chenna Kitty. That's twitch.tv/ChennaKitty. Once again, follow, subscribe, or gift a subscription to twitch.tv/ChennaKitty. I said, "Wow, I'm gonna do that right now." Later that night, I saw Chenna Kitty was streaming, so I went to watch the stream. She was playing a cool video game I've never seen before, and I asked her what it was, but everyone in chat started yelling at me and calling me names before Maud told me to subscribe and be able to talk to their beautiful goddess Chenna. I said that was stupid and got banned for it. When I got banned, Chenna paused the game and looked at the screen. She said, "Cool Mikey 2010, my username. You and everyone you love will experience my wrath." Later that night, Samuel was streaming, but when I went in to talk in his chat, I was banned there too. I asked why, and he said, "Cool Mikey 2010, you insulted Chenna Kitty."
Hi, I'm Cool Mikey 2010. Nice to meet you.
Oh my god! Hey, Cool Mikey 2010, welcome to the stream! I'm Goddess Chenna. I'm reading a creepy story. Don't say anything weird or I'll ban you! When I went to talk in his chat, I was banned there too. I asked why, and he said, "Cool Mikey 2010, you insulted Chenna Kitty, and you must be punished for your bad deeds." He then banned me forever and got my account deleted. That jerkhead! Samuel then started reading from a book called The Chebble, and he then summoned a demonic guinea pig with 3 heads and fire red fur. The guinea pig called Samuel a good Chensiple bill for choking his soul out of him. Samuel then came back to life without a soul. But there was an evil vampire monster with big fangs. My friend was lost forever to evil Chenna monster. But I knew I had to save him. I looked up monster hunters and came across Brazil. And came across Brazil Singh. I knew I could trust him when he had a 9.4 rating on Google. When I gave him a call, he said he would look into the Chenna Kitty case. I was scared for my friend because he was now a vampire monster, and he could be doing evil things for that Chenna monster. A week later, Brazil Singh came back and said it was no Chenna Kitty, it was a Chenna killer, and she was recruiting more people into her cult to evil demon purposes. He pulled out a chebble and started showing me the demons and rituals in it to summon the guinea pig god, Safi Pig. We watched Chenna's streams, and every day she had more and more viewers. She said she finally had enough to have them all meet in the wood for her final ritual to summon Safi Pig. We knew this was our chance to take her down for good, and the only way we would get to the ritual was by following Samuel, but we couldn't have him knowing we were the following, so we had to be sneaking about it. So we sneak up behind Samuel as we followed him more, and more people joined him until at the woods they all turned around and said, "Cool Mikey 2010. I know you are following me, and now I'll take you to Chenna to be sacrificed." Before we could run away, we were surrounded by tentacles and grabbed. When I woke up, we were tied up to a big table, with Chenna looking at us with hyper-realistic eyes before she said, "Cool Mikey 2010, you will be our sacrifice in summoning Safi Pig and taking over the world." I tried to fight back, but she pulled out a katana and was ready to sacrifice me. Everyone started chanting a chant to summon Sephi Pig, and as the katana stabbed my heart, I could feel the burning of being stabbed as the katana grew super long with Sephi Pig pulling it out. Chenna then said she will now take over the world and have it ruled by Chensiples and guinea pigs. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry, Samuel, I couldn't stop them. And now they will take over the world. The bad end. P.S. Frick off, hate hatters. This is my creepypasta. If you don't think it's scary, then make your own. Very beautiful. Thank you, Cool Mikey 2010, for your wonderful creepypasta. Roselle Singh. This isn't creepypasta. It's real life. So this happens after... So after the 5,000 Hiccup, I started to do torture streams, and then I commit murder, and then I do a sacrifice. I have moved on from streaming to running a cult. And in order to get into the cult, you have to follow twitch.tv/ChennaKitty and subscribe and use your Twitch Prime sub or gift sub to become follower of Goddess Chenna Kitty. That's twitch.tv/ChennaKitty. Once again, follow, subscribe, or give subscription to twitch.tv/ChennaKitty. Yes. Thank you, Marshall. These were very, very whimsical, I enjoyed them. Very spooky, very silly. Mix of both. Sublibes, like, comment, subscribe. Very creative. Changing the names. We have Samuel and Roselle Singh. Thanks, Roselli. Smile. Can't believe you can hire a monster hunter on Google. That's crazy. I didn't know you could do that. Glad there's a mix of writing styles for the pastas. Me too. Me too. I like seeing everyone's. I can almost like I can see Marshall's train of thought, like his brain train of thought during the writing as it evolves. He had a good rating, and the fact that he disappears at the end. Well, maybe that's just how he works. Maybe he's like, this is too scary for me. I'm going to sneak away. Yeah, he decided the pay wasn't enough. He's just like, Jesus, what? Couldn't stop the ritual. Oh my god. Almost halfway there. Halfway through the stories. But thank you, Marshall, for your submissions and contributions and taking the time to write beautiful stories. And next we have a story by Big Ham, the largest gaming hamster here on Twitch.tv. If you want to get deep into, maybe he was part of the the theories are through the roof. The game theories of all these creepypastas, they are through the roof. We are creating a timeline of sorts, and Rizal part of the cult. Maybe Vengeance Luigi. Maybe you could. Maybe next you hire Vengeance Luigi. Cause Vengeance Luigi's like, I know who this is. I know what she did with Mario. She sacrificed Mario to summon Sephi Pig. And now Vengeance Luigi's trying to get vengeance. And so Vengeance Luigi's gonna come back and fight the evil. Lose else. Vengeance Luigi teaming up with Zelsing, coming to theaters 2026. That's gonna be the sequel. That's my theory. That's the sequel. That's gonna happen next. He's gonna come back with a purpose. Alright. Hold on. I gotta clear my throat. I'm in a little sniffly. A little sniffly and allergy filled. And yeah. Now we have a story by Big Ham. August 2nd, 2005. We used to play soccer on the street in our neighborhood. It was a cul-de-sac, so it was very rare for cars to frequent. On this day, a long blue limousine parked in front of the old house, and men in suits escorted out a long-haired blue figure, blue ribbon with a rose-lace veil over her face. I stopped to look, and I made eye contact for a split second through the holes in the lace, piercing but very kind blue eyes. I looked closer and approached for a closer examination. The wind blew up the veil, and for 2 seconds I saw her pearly whites and possibly the whitest smile in the entire world. There was something chilling about it. I think back to this first encounter a lot, because it won't leave my mind. The image of her rows of teeth played back in my head over and over from that point onwards. At night, when I went to bed, no matter how much I closed my eyes to my inner eyelids, I could still see the never-ending rows of teeth. Her wide grin, giant hands peering out from behind her and reaching towards me. I'm writing this now because I couldn't sleep tonight. I can only keep thinking of her smile. Surely it's a bad dream. December 29th, 2006. Mom took me to the doctor for weeks over the past year. I can't figure out what's going on. They've actually closed the schools. They've actually closed school because many children are experiencing something similar. Kids can't stay awake during lectures, and so the teachers just pass us homework to do at home and video assignments and CD-ROMs for when we have the energy. January 15th, 2022. It's been nearly 17 years since my visions began. The doctors finally have called this condition Chenna smile. Unfortunately, there is no cure. Once you make eye contact with her, you are doomed to see her twisted smile image burned into your skull for the rest of your life. Fortunately for me, I'm a subscriber to Chenna Kitty channel on twitch.tv/ChennaKitty, so I did not mind seeing her beautiful face every day and night and every living moment of my life. I love VTubers. Mail this to 5 of your friends, or she will come out at night to your window, and you will have Chenna's smile forever burnt into your brain. Smile. I didn't honestly, I didn't expect it to I didn't expect it to like go in that direction. That's very so you're from 2005 She sees a beautiful blue woman and with a beautiful smile, but also very creepy. Has a nightmare. The kids are in her school are haunted. Maybe the beautiful blue girl haunted the kids. And then the diagnosis, with enough time that has passed, the diagnosis has been reached and named to the Chenna smile. But you know, coming to terms with that diagnosis, that maybe it's not a very scary diagnosis to have, or maybe it's a form of possession. The career change from standing around scaring children to becoming a VTuber. Yeah. Yeah, this predates everything. It makes the timeline really interesting. You're right. So, like... Oh, no. Maybe... So, this is the first thing that happened. But, like... What if... What if I've been, like... been haunted by Shatterer since the very beginning? And they've been watching me this whole time. And now I'm cursing everyone with smile. Does this also mean you don't age? Perhaps. Perhaps. And we also have another smile story written by The Only Guy Ever, also known as K. There are very similar themings through some of these stories. It's very enjoyable. Maybe good skincare routine. Maybe. Good sleep. Good skincare routine. Or maybe it's the monster inside of me, keeping me immortal and very youthful. Maybe. Maybe I'm being possessed by the smile monster. But yes, Big Ham, if you're watching the VOD, thank you. That was a very enjoyable story. Got another advertisement for me. You and Marshall advertise for twitch.tv/ChennaKitty. Maybe you and Marshall are or Samuel. Cool Mikey 2010. Has Chenna been a villain in every story but her own? Seems like that is the story thus far. Of course the baddies don't realize they're the baddies. But what if I was kindness before Shatterer cursed me? Or maybe the monster inside me is taking over. Ooh. Smile, written by The Only Guy Ever, or K. You excitedly click onto Chenna Kitty's stream as soon as you saw the tweet. She was streaming. Hi Chenna! Smile, you typed. OMG, hi chat members! Smiles, she said. Somehow, you doubted that she was actually smiling, but the thought only made you smile instead. Chenna's streams usually made you smile. Usually you would smile so much that your face would start hurting. You are enjoying the stream? Thank you so much, Smiles. Today was one of those days where you could feel yourself grinning ear to ear. Your cheeks already sore. The time flew by. Okay, I'm gonna go now for real. Bye, 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 bye. Even as the stream neared the end, she still couldn't help but to smile. It was always such a fun time after all. Then as the stream finally ended, the blackness of your monitor, you've noticed something strange being reflected. You felt something warm in the corners of your grin. You couldn't stop smiling. You felt the corners of your mouth with your fingers. You couldn't feel some... and could feel some cracking. Your fingertips now stained with blood. It worsened. The pain was unbearable as your grin became inhuman and ripped through the skin and flesh of your cheeks, widening further. It felt like an invisible knife carving its way through the sides of your head. Yoru head. You couldn't take it. You felt your sanity slipping, your mind becoming something else as your smile tore a blood path around your head. You would always hear it now, droning in your head. Smile. Oh my god, the smile monster is coming for us! See, the smile possession's real! Wanna know how I got these scars? I'm enjoying the continuity, or like the added lore to all of this. The smile possession is actually Chennification. Oh, you're right. Okay, alright folks, get your water and kitty snacks. Yeah, Rosali's onto something. It's like the Chennification is once you come into contact with Chenna, that's when it starts festering. That's when it hits you. Great how everyone wrote independently, but there's also still a lot of similar themes. Yeah. It is very fun. Very fun. And that is what I say in my streams. I say, oh my god, hi chat member. And then I say, I'm going down for real, bye. Oh my god, references to the stream. Very real. Very real. This story made me smile. I do say these words. It's real. Chat member, your story made me smile. Thank you for writing stories that make me smile. Also very spooky because don't smile too much. You become the Joker. How come smile hurt you? The Joker. But yes. Yes. I'm the Joker, baby. Chambers, written by Unsomnus, Lunaire, vampire and writer extraordinaire. I think Sam wrote an entire novel? And 2 stories at that? Any final words before I read your story? Is this the long one or the second? You know what? Don't tell me. Don't tell me yet. No spoilers. Chambers. Hydrate? Okay. Your final words are hydrate. You're right. I drank so much water. I gotta pee actually. You know what? Before we get to the story, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, cliffhanger. Oh my god, cliffhanger. We're not gonna get to your story yet, cause I gotta be right back. Be right back. Go piss, girl. Okay. Hearing Chenna says piss is the scariest thing this stream. She said a toilet word. She said a toilet word. That's so scary. Hi. Hi. I'm back. Not yet. Not yet. Alright. We have Chambers, written by Unsomnus Lair, vampire and writer extraordinaire. He dropped the artist. the artist extraordinaire and replaced it with writer. Alright. Let us begin. I've been having these strange dreams. It's nighttime, I'm standing ankle deep in water, surrounded by large mountains, made from what looked like jade, and then there's this rabbit that wears a gold key around its neck. My feet waded through the water as the rabbit effortlessly bounds through it. Never able to catch it. It always ends the same. I fail over and over. It continues to evade my grasp until eventually leads me to this white building. An exit sign hangs over a metal door, and it hops inside. The door slams shut. Then I look towards the sky, only to see the earth. It's evening now when my eyes open, groggy. Find myself face down on the couch with the throw pillows slightly damp from drool. My apartment is cloaked in a quiet, foreign darkness, the kind that happens when you sleep through the shifting of day to night, or when you arrive home late and the environment stands silent, empty of the light that is its soul. I decided to get some fresh air and head out for a nighttime walk and perhaps a bite to eat. Now that I realize I haven't eaten dinner. At first I thought I was hearing things, but the closer I got, the more I was certain. I was hearing a cat cry out, as if it was scared or maybe trapped. The sound was echoing from a long dark alley, and on top of crying there was a foul odor wafting from the darkness too, like bad breath. Or perhaps it would be more fitting to say it was more like a musk. Everything in my body was warning me from going down the alley. It's not like I've ever made a habit of going down dark alleys in the city, come to think of it. I don't think I've ever been down one in the first place, actually. But the idea of a helpless cat needing aid tormenting my mind, and against my better judgment, I followed the call down the twisted path. At the end of the alley, there was a left turn that led to a small alcove. Then straight ahead, there was a white concrete building. With its door open, the building had faded red polka dots that lined the top, and the structure was unusually square. The musk I smelled earlier was stronger here. The best I could do to describe it was if you had a very old oak barrel and filled it with freshly dug up soil and loaded it with moldy mushrooms. Right, as I was about to turn the corner and head back, the corner of my eye, I've seen a cat. Or maybe just the shadow of one scurry into the lit doorway of the building. Without thinking, I wandered after it. Inside, there was actually a man sitting behind this long wooden counter. He lifted his head up and fixed his cold blue eyes onto me. He looked to be in his mid-40s, had an unkempt mustache and a dull red nose. Sorry, there was a cat and I... He seemed to ignore my words. Or perhaps didn't hear me. Welcome. Just one? He looked over at me, questioningly. Just one. For some reason, I looked over my shoulder as if There's going to be someone behind me. A table for one, then, the stout man said, with a little performative cheer ringing in his voice. I hadn't realized it, but had wandered into a small, rather run-down Italian restaurant. There were paper menus taped along the front counter, but you'd have to look down at around knee level to read them. Oh no, I actually didn't mean to come in here. I was just looking for something and the door was open. I trailed off. You won't find better Italian food anywhere else, I promise. Here, take a seat. I'll fetch you a menu. The man put one arm behind my back and gestured with his other hand towards the table. I don't know why, but I sat down there. Perhaps out of some sort of politeness. I still wasn't planning on eating here, but I waited for the menu nonetheless. Maybe I'll come up with some excuses after that and take my leave. Just as quickly as I had taken a seat, the man was back, rushing over with an old yellow paper menu that had worn edges. Please look it over. It's all real Italian food, and you seem like the type who enjoys good food. Here's your water. The man stood there with his hands behind his back, waiting on me to order. There wasn't another soul in this building. Can't imagine there were many who would come across a place that's so hidden. Although his body was torn towards me, he looked off in the distance, as if to give me some privacy while I looked over the menu. With his fingers, he brushed his mustache that sat drooping under his bulbous nose. Pressured, I skimmed the menu, noticing the prices were actually quite reasonable. I should have gotten up and left, telling him that I wasn't interested, but I felt kind of pity for this man, his empty restaurant. Felt pity for this man in his empty restaurant. My stomach let out a quiet growl, and I noticed his eyes briefly dart over to me and then back to the distance with a slight smile emerging across the face. Yes, it's very good. Very filling, he continued his waiting, beginning to whistle a cheerful tune. I'll have the risotto then. I placed the menu down and nodded towards him with a flash of a smile. Excellent choice. I'll be back quickly with your food. The short man hurried off over the creaking floorboards and through a door at the back of the room which swung behind him as he entered. I sipped some of the water and took some time to observe the restaurant. It wasn't very noteworthy. Most of the furniture in the structure was old wood that had seen better days. Dust covered many of the surfaces, the kind of dust that wouldn't build up without years of neglect, many of which the tables intended for customers. As I brought the glass to my mouth, second time, I noticed a sticky dark stain that ran along the inner radius of the bottom of the glass. I pulled the glass away, noticing a few small flakes of the grime break away and dance in the water. Covering my mouth, I let out a hushed cough. Displeased, I put down the glass and looked off into space. The water didn't taste odd, but I don't think I'll be having any more. I began reflecting on the cat. Yes, the cat. The whole reason I'm here in the first place. Where did it go? I didn't see any sign of it around the room. Maybe it's in the back, or perhaps tucked into some nook sleeping. Maybe the man here owns the cat. Just as I turned my head to look back at the still open entrance, I heard the back door swing open, followed by the quick footsteps of the waiter. Oh yes, here we are. Your delicious food. A plate of some kind of pasta is laid before me, somewhat resembling spaghetti, maybe? The noodles were thick, shiny ropes covered in a deep red sauce. I haven't seen anything like it before. I furrowed my brow in confusion and looked up at the waiter. His eyes were closed and smiling. Please eat. It's the best specialty. Prepared just as it was back home. I picked up my utensils and gently pawed a noodle and watched how it squishes and squelches against the prongs of my fork. The red sauce slowly oozes out the noodle, and I hesitate to pierce it. You don't normally get stuff like this here, ho ho. The man sounded proud. Back in the old world, we had food like this every so often. It fills you with life. It was simpler then. But just because it was simple didn't mean it was delicious. He leaned forward, maintaining a friendly smile on his face. My diet has never been very adventurous, and perhaps he was right. Perhaps, although odd and simple looking, maybe there was something to it. As I readied myself to try the dish, it occurs to me that this isn't what I ordered. Not that I know what this is exactly, but it's not what I asked for. Scratched the side of my head and glanced up at the man standing over me. So, what do you call this dish, by the way? Spaghetti! Oh ho ho, it's spaghetti. Can't you tell? Not the kind you're used to here, hey? I hope you enjoy it. She made lots of it, he said, smirking at me, amused. But I haven't seen spaghetti like this before. But maybe it's like how Italian pizzas looks kind of different than what I'm used to. Press a fork into the noodles and tempted to break off a small piece. It doesn't cut easily, and instead bends around my fork like a thin rubber hose. More red sauce leaks out of it. Using my knife, I saw off a piece and then pop it into my mouth. Almost immediately, I met with a very sharp flavor. It tastes of metal, and I began to hack, and involuntarily it slides out of my mouth and sloppily slides back onto my plate. Embarrassed, I covered my mouth and let out some more muffled coughs. The man is still smiling and laughs to himself. This food might seem strange to you, but to me it's normal. Maybe an acquired taste where I come from. There's these beautiful castles and animals that talk too. It's a land somewhere you're sometimes very large and sometimes very small. An old kingdom where death mean walking again earlier that day. It's perfect. It's perfect there, but much different than here. I stare with a dumbfounded expression. Not sure if what he's saying is a joke, but maybe it's metaphorical. Returning my eyes back down to the plate, I am confronted with the reality that I'm expected to continue eating this, but I'm having trouble convincing my hands to carry through with the idea. Not hungry? Don't worry, follow me. If you're lucky, she'll still be hungry, and, well, if not, it never hurts to have more. The man lightly grasps my wrist and gestures towards the old wood door on the back of the wall, the one he entered earlier to fetch my food. Who is this she he's talking about anyway? I head towards the door with him guiding me by the gentle pull of my wrist. He holds the door open for me as I go ahead of him, and then I hear the door slam shut at my back. The room is rather large and the creaky wood floor isn't present here. Instead, it's a large black and white checkered hard tile floor. I'm fully aware of the door being closed behind me. I know that man did not follow me inside, but I'm distracted by the emptiness of the room. There's not a single thing in the room, nor are there any windows or other doors. The thing that has my full attention is that of a singular woman who sits at the floor at the center of the room. She wore her back facing me and her legs to one side. She wears what looks like some kind of Victorian-style dress. It's large and frilly. She sits there hunched over a large pile of noodles and sauce. The same strange meal that was served to me. That deep red sauce stains the fingertips of her glossy white gloves as she scoops the noodles towards her mouth. Loud chewing sounds are broken up with wet slurping sounds and high-pitched hiccups. My presence in the room does not seem to faze her, as she does not seem to bother to turn around and acknowledge me. A pale complexion washes over my face, and a hard lump forms in my throat. What was barely a minute felt as if it stretched on for an immeasurable amount of time. The horror I feel in the pit of my stomach is one I've never felt before. A primal fear that people of modern time don't often come in contact with. It was then I knew I was prey. My legs stiffened up, and I stumbled backwards against a wood door that was firmly closed against me. And then the stiffness in my legs vanished just as quickly as it arose, now draining my bones of any structure. My legs folded like noodles, and I collapsed to the floor, smashing my head against a hard tile. I submerged from a large ocean, if only for a moment, only to be thrashed around violently by large waves. I tumble helplessly through the vast deep blue. Panic, I throw my arms towards the surface, as if I could grab onto it and pull myself up. Hasty breaths are made during the few moments where my mouth or nose break the surface. I catch a glimpse of a hare, one of the size house and one that hops effortlessly along the ocean floor. Then I'm pushed back on it again. My nose and mouth filled with water, bubbles float away from me and begin to swirl further and further from me as I begin to sink even more. What wind was left in my failing lungs is knocked out of me as I'm crushed against the green rocky wall of the shoreline, the sharp rocks shredding my back. Then I sink. This time with no fighting, no life is left in my limbs or my chest. The rich blue of the ocean begins to fade in an inky blackness as I drift lower and lower. I'm then pierced by another sharp object. My eyes shoot open and suddenly light and sound comes flooding back into my senses. I'm blinded by the light, my vision blurs. I feel air against my skin. Something has fished me out of the water and is now hoisting me into the air. A sharp pain pumps through my left shoulder. I raise my right hand to touch it and feel an oozing warmth. As my eyes adjust to see what has me, I'm met with a fearsome face, that of a gigantic blue cat. However, its mouth isn't right. The cat's mouth is that of a human's, its teeth still very sharp, but too many of it wears a sinister smile that sharply stretches across its face. By instinct, I attempt to curl up, but instead I fall limp, dangling from the cat's claw. The cat begins to speak. Its words sound sharp and fill my head with sickly feeling. "You almost drowned, little guinea piggy. You're safe now. I'll watch over you. Are you able to speak?" She then places me down on the jade shore. It's dark when my eyes open. A sharp pain shoots through my head. I place both palms against my temples and squeeze to somehow attempt to push the pain out. I feel something tickling my face and I sit up, slightly dazed. I'm in a small grass field. Only, I'm also in a room, one made of old wood planks. There are no windows, and only a heavy-looking metal door. I attempt to open it, but I have no luck. There's an earthy fungus smell that lingers in the air. It's so much stronger now. I believe I'm still in a restaurant. I don't know where that would be, though. There are only two doors, the entrance and the door to the room in the back. It's extremely quiet. I hear no outside traffic, no wind, no birds. A complete stillness seems to cradle the room. Suddenly, panic kicks in, and I begin to claw at the grass nearest to the room's walls. My left arm quickly gives up as it's overwhelmed with a debilitating pain. I dig with my right hand, and then suddenly, only after digging about a foot deep, I hit a hard surface. I clear more and more dirt from the hole. I see what sends me jolting back. It's the checkerboard tile from the room the woman was in. What is the purpose of this? Frantically, I begin clawing away at the other spots around the walls, only to be met with the same checkered floor. I'm trapped. The silence is interrupted by the sound of the distant footsteps from outside my door. They near closer and closer. It's the clicking of heels, occasionally paired with high-pitched hiccup. I sit huddled in a corner, my eyes locked on the door. Then a small slot at the bottom of the door slides open. It is only about 6 inches in height. A slice of white cake is pushed through. There is no plate. The cake is then followed by a small glass of milk. The slot slides shut, and I hear a metal latch lock in its place. Then the clack of the heels sinks into the distance. Each day, what I think are days, I'm given a slice of cake and a glass of milk. On the third day, I waited by the door, laying on my side patiently, and I waited patiently, shaking myself awake whenever my eyes drooped. And then I hear the evenly paced click of her heels approaching. The slot opened, and I immediately pushed my face and pushed my face in a good hand against the opening, pushing away the cake. I flailed for her foot and shouted, "Why?" Demanded a reason why this was happening to me. What she wanted with me. She did not respond. She just stood there, not moving. After an awkward amount of silence, I pulled my hand back in and then pushed my face against the opening as best as I could to get a better look at my capture. She stood very still in a dark hallway. One time was lined with metal doors just like mine. One that was lined with metal doors just like mine. Too many to count. Her dress was deep blue color and her skin was pale like porcelain. I looked to her face. She was staring forward and then, in an instant, saw her glance down at me. The sight of her smile caused all the pain I had been inflicted upon my body to reignite. My scream resembled a death rattle. I closed the slot to the door myself and retreated to my corner. She had the Cheshire smile, the smile that stretched from ear to ear, teeth that were too sharp, teeth that were too many. Time has now blended together that offers no form. I cannot tell you how long it's been. I drifted in and out of sleep. Or something that resembles sleep anyway. There are times where my eyes are open, and there are times when they are not. I no longer dream. I close my eyes and I see the Jade Hills. I lay there in the shallow water. I hear the splashing of the elusive rabbit. The rabbit climbs onto my chest. Its keys dances in front of my face, and it stares into my eyes. I raise my hands and it does not move. I pause for a moment and then I rest my hands behind my head and gaze upon the stars and the earth. The rabbit jumps off my chest and continues on its mission. I no longer fear dying. I open my eyes and I enjoy my cake. My smile is like hers now. Oh. Mips! I was getting Alice in Wonderland vibes from the rabbit, Cheshire cat. That was Psalm's long story. It was Mibs. Oh my god. The Italian restaurant, the checkered floor. I understand. Oh my god. Make a lot of spaghetti for Mario. Nice of Chenna to invite us over for a picnic, eh? Psalm? Scenario? I hope she made lots of spaghetti. I have to scroll back and read chat. Chenna, I made it. Okay, I'll be scared now. I read your stories earlier. We have been conducting, like, we have been combining all the lores, be like, and putting it into like a timeline. This is a cinematic universe. So I feel like Psalm story. Maybe where would the Psalm story be fit in? I did like them. I've been enjoying every single one of them so far. They have been extremely enjoyable and very creative, and I like seeing everyone's writing style and also seeing like the similar theming that everyone had. Like Bigwin and Zubrungus had like some like torture segment. They wrote about like a torture stream. There's smiles. There's a number of smiles, creepy smiles. I wrote about tea shattering. Mario keeps appearing. I wonder why. It's as if in my document I say Mario can be the main character. Mario can be a featured character. Luigi's there. We had a story about Vengeance Luigi. We had a we had a story about a cult, the Chenna Kitty Goddess cult. And Vengeance Luigi. You don't remember that? I wrote, I don't necessarily have to be the main character. You can be the main character or Mario. Or Mario. Most of them do have to do with smiles. Thought Mario's in people's minds because of brothership. Potentially. Like the creepypasta stuff did get formulated during a brothership stream. We had Mario, we had Luigi, we had Roselli's a monster hunter. There's Samuel. Lots of chat members. First person POVs. See creepy smiling girl. The prompt saying Mario can be the main character is why I used Luigi. Now what if I said Luigi can be the main character? Would that make Mario the main character? We've been joking that every time I hiccup, be like, oh, being like, okay, I'm being possessed. I'm evil in this story because I was cursed by Shatterer, and Shatterer put the monster inside me, and good thing Chenna isn't real, guys, right? Yeah, I'm not real. This stream is fake. Oh yeah, she did a real hiccup earlier. It was the monster. Yeah. She's been real for many years. Or maybe is she real? She's been first sighted back in 2005. You're right. Big Ham wrote about that. Or was it 2006? But yeah. I've seen her once go. But yeah. Very descriptive song. Very creative. You like slowly piece together like oh, I know the reference. Oh, it's like it's Italian. Oh, lots of spaghetti. Okay, we're in Peach's castle. But it's Chenna's castle. Dear Mario, I baked a cake for you. Oh, it's the cake! Force-fed cake! I thought I was understanding the timeline and Big Ham's deep in the lore. Yeah, I was like, it was first... Oh man. Oh man, now I'm not even remembering the timeline. You think it might be Peach, but no, Chenna. She had blue when she was going delicious spaghetti. Princess Peach. It's a reference is what I'm saying. Do you know about the moon rabbit? Jade the rabbit. No. I don't think I do. Many themes baked in though my epic story. Yes. Yes, there was lots of callbacks to the rabbit. Basically a professional writer now. That's what see, you dropped artist. You dropped artist and replaced it with writer. You are no longer artist. They call him writer extraordinaire. Doing this did make me want to write more. Maybe next year, or if I think of another theme. Cause oh man, this is a lot of reading. I'm trying to like pace myself. Writing in general, yeah. How many stories? I think this might be the last one. Sam, do you know? But yeah, there was 11 stories, including mine. Marshall had 2 short ones and 1 longer one. Some had a really long one. So yeah, I was the last person to submit stuff to here. Maybe word limit? Maybe. I mean, it's fine. Like, with the amount of submissions, it's fine. Unless if I end up getting like... If I do this again next year, and if I get like 1 billion submissions, I could like split it into like 2 different days. That could be something I could do. But I could also... I did a vague word limit. I was like, as long as I'm not reading a whole novel. As long as every story is not like 20,000 pages long. But yeah, we shall see. Then we have Sam's final story called Ninetendo Kitty. Written by Sam Unsomnus Lunaire, vampire and writer extraordinaire. Edit. Please read this first. Stop saying this is a self-insert. She is not the character and I don't have the same name and my dad doesn't even play Nintendo. He plays computer games. Okay, thanks. Not. To my true fans, please give my story 5 stars and leave nice comments and maybe I'll write more. Starbunny777. Me and my bro were at a garage sale. Our parents took us and my bro found an old game that was blue and had picture of a kawaii neko on it. I don't know what's this kind of video game player used it for. I just could tell that it was old because the sticker was peeling off. It looked very wayward. I asked my dad if he knew what played this game, and he looked at me with horror in his 2 eyes and a tear came down from his eye. Rosemary, that's my name. My immortal. Oh my god. I had to. My playlist stopped. Let me regain my composure. let me regain so you're not so you're not reading ahead, okay? Okay. I've gone this long. I can read this with a straight face. That's the real challenge. Rosemary, that's my name. I'm wearing a tight, rippy black jeans that have a cute flare on the bottom, and I have cropped red tank top, and over that I have a oversized fishnet top, and also platform boots with spikes. I have black fishnet arm sleeves, and my nails are painted black and red. My hair is a wolf cut and is dyed really dark black, but the roots are blue, kind of like Billie Eilish. And I have one on dark red lipstick, but it's smudged by choice, and really dark eyeshadow and eyeliner that is smudged and dripping down my face because I was crying earlier because boys. That's for Nintendo 64. He exclaimed and hollered really loud, and I covered my ears. What's wrong, Dad? I said to him, scared. Also, I haven't seen one of those games in a long time, he said with more tear now. It's just, it reminded me of your mother. Last thing we did together was play Nintendo 64 game. I miss her to this every day, he said, crying more now and wiping his nose, sniffing. Dad, whatever happened to Mom Antway? You never tell me, I said, sad too. She died fighting for you and your brother. She had special blood, but well, I can't talk about that. I'm sorry, darling. He said, still crying, and I could tell he was hiding something from me. I look again at the old Nintendo game and see there is no price on it. Then I take it over to the old woman selling her stuff, but when I showed her the game, she screamed and de-opt what she was holding, and she said, no, please don't show me that game. Take it from me. It's free. It's yours. I don't want it anymore, she said. I thought it was weird she was scared of the game, but maybe like my dad, her mom also died too, so I take it home with me. I had my dad get me his old Nintendo from the attic. It had a really funny controller, and the stick was floppy. I put the game in the video game player and tuned it on. But then all the lights in the house flickered, and I heard a loud meowing sound like, and then I think crying, but then nothing happened, and my dad's old TV was black. It said Channel 3 still. I asked my dad why it wasn't working, and he said he knows why then. Took the game out of video game player and with his mouth blew on it, and a bunch of blue dust shot from it, and we both coughed a lot. Try it now, he said, then left. I put it back and turned it on again, and this time the lights in the house turned off and heard a loud again. This time, the screen, there was logo. It said, Chenna Kitty, Nightmare in Rosebud, Kingdom 1. There was a cute blue Neko girl running on the screen, and she was punching and crushing giant ugly bugs. The graphics are really old looking, but I know my dad likes these kinds of games, so they aren't bad. They're just old like my dad, who isn't bad. I pressed a button and the game started. Chenna Kitty is standing in a big green world. The bugs are eating the flowers and the trees, and I can run around, but the controls are bad. When I was playing the game, sometimes Chenna Kitty would stop running no matter what I would do or button I press, and she would just stand there, and then after 66 seconds, she would move a hand. It was getting really annoying, but I wanted to help Rosebud Kingdom because that was like my name, and it was very cute, and I hate bugs too, but my brother thinks they're cool, and he's still 11, so he doesn't know better and is still dumb still. After a few hours of playing, Chenna stopped moving like she always does, but this time I decided to change the camera to see her face, and then I screamed because her face looked evil and had a big smile on her face, but it didn't look happy. It looked bad. Even after 66 seconds gone by, her voice went back to cute face, and I started to question that if it even really happened. I played for 10 more minutes, and then she stopped again, and I knew what I had to do. I turned the camera at her face, and I screamed. She had a scary smile again. I turned off the video game player. The game was still on, and her smile got bigger now. I screamed, and then I took the plug and pulled it out of the wall, and then looked back at the old TV, but the game was still on. I got closer to her face, and now her smile was even bigger, and there were red lines in her eyes. I screamed again. I then turned off the TV, but no, still smiling Chenna Kitty, and I screamed again. And then I finally said no, and I pulled the plug from the TV and looked back at the screen, now black finally. I breathed in a lot of air and didn't cry because I don't cry from getting scared, only because of boys. I took out the game player and threw it across the room, and it made a loud crashing sound. I then started to walk out of the room. When all the lights of the house turned off, then I heard thunder and heavy rain start outside. I hear Chenna said, and I turned around and looked at the TV to see Chenna Kitty on TV, and I screamed. She had blood evil eyes and giant smile with sharp teeth that had blood dropping from them. A text box popped up, and slowly letters appeared. You really shouldn't have done that. I screamed. Then the TV turned off, and I breathed in the air of relief. Then I see her photo real hand show up from bottom of the screen, and it looked like it grabbed the bottom of my TV, and then her scary face raised from the bottom of the screen. I screamed. She stood laughing, and I was so scared of. And her Neko ears came through the TV screen, and then the rest of her. She was tall and wore a pretty blue dress and had blue hair with straight bangs and wavy hair. She wore a big blue in her head with roses. She is Princess of Rosebud Kingdom. Plus she had evil smile on her face. her eyes red with dripping black mascara. She pointed at me and said, Rosemary Lockett, you will die. I started crying, even though it wasn't poised. She looked at me with her smile turned upside down. She said, pathetic girl, you are not strong like your mom was. She was strongest fighter I ever fought, but even she wasn't strong enough. Now it is time for you to die. I wiped away my tears and I said, no, you killed my mom and now I never got to meet her, so I will revenge her. I ran from Chenna into my kitchen, but it was so dark I kept running into walls. I grabbed a knife and I held it in front of me. Chenna walked towards me slowly with her head twitching and I screamed at her, my mom's blood runs through my veins. Return to your game. And then she stopped and tilted her head at me. But this is my game, she said, then laughed evilly. I shouted back at her, I have no pity for you, Chenna Kitty. And then the ghost of my mom showed up behind me and put her hand on my hand, and we held the knife together. Chenna Kitty laughed and continued to talk at me smiling, and then I swung my knife at her. Along with my mom's strength, I cut her into 2 pieces. Her torso fell to the ground, and her legs were still standing. The roses burst from her legs instead of blood. She then turned into a bunch of rose petals, and I seen a white ghost that kind of looked like a cat snowman emerge from the pile. She floated in front of me and said, Rosemary Lockett, you are strong and I am honored to be slain by your hands. I shall now return to my home. Until next time, thank you for playing my game. The ghost then blew away from the hallway, and through the door there was the game and the door slammed shut and the lights turned on. Chenna Kitty has been sealed away once again by me, Rosemary Lockett, heir of the Lockett bloodline and land of This Is My Story. Finn, written and owned by StarBunny777. Thank you, StarBunny777. That was very terrifying. I'm sorry that happened to your mom, but you know, she came back to save you, and I think that's beautiful. I think that is very beautiful. Fighting off the evil. Sorry, it wasn't written by StarBunny777. It was actually Unsomnus Lunar Vampire Writer Extraordinaire. the whiplash from reading the last story and then this one, really funny. It was very enjoyable. I like how I very appreciate you can channel 2 different kinds of writing styles. Lost it as during the description, the My Immortal description. My name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway. Lost it at that. Very beautiful. Can't wait for this game to be discovered. Well, if you go to a garage sale, maybe you too can find Ninetendo Land 64. That scared me so much. Star Bunny is his ghost, right? You're right. This is self-insert story. Next time don't do that or else your story will suck harder. We should have a duel between Cool Mikey 2010 and Star Bunny 777. And I like you get to feel for the writer. Like she she cries because of boys, but not because of being scared, and I think that's very brave of her. And it's very very relatable. I think the MC is self-insert for some. Maybe this is based on true story. Maybe this is in fact based on true style story. This is real events. If Chenna Kitty was boys, that could have gone down very differently. She see Chenna Kitty was boys and she cry and be like, "No, I cannot kill boys. I can't do this." She's just trying to work out her feelings, losing her mom at such a young age. She's having a hard time. You're right. And she has her dad who cares for her very much. She did cry even though it wasn't boys. But you know what? She still has courage to fight the evil. The evil video game, Chenna Kitty. But yes, that seems to be the end of all the creepypastas. Very, very delightful reads. Thank you everyone who has written something and submitted anything, submitted things. Got some laughs, got some spooks. You will enjoy the VOD after. You will smile. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Marshall. Thank you, Zubrungus. Thank you, the only guy ever. Thank you, Big Ham. Thank you, myself. Am I missing anyone? I think those are our writers. You gotta catch up on the lore. Yes, there's lore, and then, man, trying to fit like the final stories into the timeline after Big Ham's is like, oh man. Oh man. Chenna Kitty Evil Monster. Yes, everyone did so good. You guys are very creative. And I also like how everyone so someone mentioned before that in everyone's story I'm like the villain or like the creepy monster, but in my story is the creepy evil monster villain is an ominous chat member because I've written it in my POV. But then as someone else said, you maybe you're not aware of your own monsters that lurk inside of you. Maybe you see things in different lights than other people do. It really does make you think. Make you ponder. Is Chenna Kitty really evil? Is she really nice, kindness, smile streamer? Or is she evil monster that is possessed by monster Hiccup? Hiccup monster. And makes cult and sacrifice and tortures chat members. Was the mention of a smile in every story? Probably. Probably every story or almost every story. I enjoyed seeing the similar themings. As mentioned before. It was very fun. Can you control F blue? Can I do it here? Sam, you have the... You put it in a Google Doc, right? Can you control F blue? And see how many times people said blue? Do it right now. But yeah, so Sam threw this all into like a book thing. I threw in the title page and end page. He put it together So thank you, Sam. I didn't put it together because I didn't want to like pre-read anything and spoil myself. So yes, big thank you for Mr. Unsomnus for vetting and reading the stories and organizing things into pages that are easy for me to read. Yeah, oh, you're right. Gotta put volume 1 on. You're right. And let volume 1 inspire or fuel volume 2. This book is made to order. Oh, what clever children! See them study and watch them learn. How I hate those goodies. How they make my stomach churn. I got a little secret that'll really make them smile. It's a nasty... I forget the rest. But yes, thank you. I will wait for Sam's that tally of the letter blue. Do the tally of blue and a tally of smile. Because I feel like those are like the 2 most common words. 33 times? Oh. 33 times. Okay, now what about smile? Sorry, I'm not back reading chat. Smile wins with 35. Oh my goodness. Smiler's on top. Oh my god, smile on chat. Smile, smile. Smiles all around. I think for the VOD for the YouTube, I will section it for each like writing in chapters. So it'd be like easier to like jump to like specific stories and stuff. There are 5 smiley faces. I think I used at least one. At least one emoticon. But yeah. Those are your beautiful submissions. This stream wouldn't have happened if the stream is because of all of you who have written a beautiful story, beautiful, scary, spooky stories. So big thank you to everyone who have submitted something. The Chenna Kitty Horror Game Jam. That's a little too much to ask for. Thank you, Chenna, for doing this idea. Thank you for suggesting the idea. It was fun. But yeah, maybe I will do this again next year. And if it's not, if somehow I think of some other non-horror Halloween spooky story submission related stream, maybe there'll be one before that happened before it, but I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. I'd hope to make Nintendo game. And you have to all included with realistic coming out of monitor graphics. Everyone submit their own AAA games where Scary Chenna haunts the game. Alright, who here is a game maker? Who here is a game dev and knows how to make video games? I will make Chenna Kitty Nightmare in Rosebud Kingdom. I'll help you. What the heck? Dark Souls mod? Get like mod a horror game And like have all the monsters that chase you just me. Oh yeah, the golf game jam. I remember that. It was just a T-posing and you can only roll the ball. You had ball controls. Blech. Okay. Gotta learn Godot. I know like 0 things about making video games. I don't know how to do anything. I just play video games and go, haha, graphics, the cool music, but the Mario jumps. Mario jumps. She said Godot. Okay, Godot. Godot. And art. Oh, funny. Oh, pretty art. Oh, pretty art and picture. You're so right. Godot to the polls. Okay. Okay. Alright. Anyway, I have nothing else planned for today, so I'm probably gonna wrap it up. Thank you all once again for taking your precious time out of your life to write a silly story and allowing me to read it on stream in front of everyone. And we all sit down and clap and smile and go, ah, scary. Thank you. Thank you for reading my story. My story. Thank you for reading all these stories. You did very well. Really? I tried not to fumble too much or laugh. I didn't want to like laugh in the middle of like reading things. I tried really, really hard trying to just like, you know, read it in a way. Happy Halloween! Halloween's next week. Wait, it's 1 week from today, right? What the heck is 1 week from today? Yeah, not fumbling Star Bunny City 777. Can you read the smoke again for you before you end? Okay. That's Hiccup. Tickets after kindness. Alright. The smoke. I was watching Chenna Kitty stream and smoking a cigarette when all of a sudden Chenna Kitty looked straight into my eyes and said, "That is my cigarette now," and then pulled her hand through my screen and stole my cigarette. I was so scared, but then she said, "Thank you, Keith, for the cigarette." How did she know my name? I closed my computer and cried in the corner. I am too scared to smoke my cigarettes because now I can still hear her smoking. You wanted me to reread that so you can use the command. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Stop the chat stream. This guy's smoking a cigarette. You can't smoke in the stream. This is a non-smoking zone. You got me. Okay. As much as I want to stay and have fun and chat more, I'm probably gonna just be like sitting here and saying like absolutely nothing. Nothing else. And be like, we chat, smile. Hey! I have nothing else for today. Stop. I'm going to log off. I'm going to log off, and I'm going to end the stream, and the stream's gonna turn black, and then blood's gonna pour out of the monitor, and then I scream, and then my teeth explode, and then I wake up, and this dream was all just a dream. Imagine fishing was secretly available this whole time. That would be so scary. And I have enough time to do a walk. Perfect timing. I get to exercise and destroy my voice, and exercise and destroy my legs. So much fun. I don't know what you're talking about, zubrungus. I have caught several already. Walking is killing you, Chenna. You have changed since you started walking. Every time I walk, I grow another inch. And then I just get taller and taller, and then I become Slender Man. I become Chender Man. And then I go up, and I start to stream, and I say, collect my pages. And I grow another tooth. Every time, every story I read, I grow another tooth. And that's how I get such a wide and beautiful smile. Ah, Chenderman. Collect my tooths. I have no tracking because I'm too tall for the camera. You're right. I have to be like really hunched over to like type on the keyboard. Yes. And then eating food becomes more and more difficult. Okay, I'm done. I'm done for real. I'm done for real. Enjoy the VOD if you're gonna watch the VOD. YouTube I will put on whenever it's uploaded. I will section up the chapters. Sorry, that was the monster inside of me. But yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Oh, thank you. I can't leave without one final spook. Oh, so scary. Wait, I forgot to look back. Rosalie. Rosalie, turn around. Rosalie, I want you to turn around. And then turn around again. Tell me, what do you see? Anyone else hear those footsteps? Okay, thank you for real. Thank you, honestly, for real. It was epic. It was a blast. I will see you all. I'm streaming again on Sunday. Normal, not spooky. Spooky stream on Sunday. Okay. Okay, goodbye for real. Goodbye for real. Nothing else is. You're not gonna have nightmares. I'm not gonna curse you, or am I? Or am I? Maybe by clicking on this dream, you have been cursed, and now you will have nightmare about creepy blue cat girl for the rest of life. Okay, bye for real. Bye for real. Bye. 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 Bye.